Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of this series that I'm doing. Um, Today's band is iconic. They have had a huge impact on my life, and I know several other people's. And today's video I am especially excited about because for it, I changed things up again. Yep. And got to talk to one of my oldest friends, if not my oldest friend, about this band. And I got to hear some stories that I had never heard before, which was really cool. And I hope you guys enjoy it. It was a lot of fun talking to him about everything. So, my good buddy Alan is the one that you'll see in the video, and along with his wife in kind of a blooper moment, but who cares? These aren't meant to be perfect things. So enjoy it, have fun with it. And today's band, I'm just going to kind of tell you instead of starting the stories off because you're going to hear the stories in a bit. It's Alice in Chains today. Kind of a heavy band, but so awesome. Love this band. So enjoy, have fun, and rock on, guys. Turn that music up. So we'll just go ahead and start.
We'll see.
So Alice in Chains.
The greatest band of all fucking time.
So I don't know that I know like the full how you got into them. I think I remember some of it. Wasn't it your dad?
Yeah,
that got you into them.
So like when I was way younger, I remember like again playing on the car stereo, you know, on KBPI.
Oh yeah.
And he would always do the yeah part, and I would do the doo-doot.
Oh.
But I didn't know who it was. I just like at that time, I mean, like way young. I just knew that was the part I sang when that song came on the radio. But like years later, when I started really getting into music,
Yeah.
I didn't have much for like the way of CDs. I mean, you're like 10, 12 years old. What the hell are you going to do? So I just started stealing stuff from my dad. And it was like 13, 14, well, what? We were 9th grade, so it'd been 14, right? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Ish. 13, 14.
13, 14-ish. We were freshmen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found Dirt. And I
Yep.
still have that original copy. The CD still, I think it's in my car right now. Like usually it lives there. But yeah, I took it from him and stuck it in my little blue Walkman CD deck thing, and then couldn't take it out of it.
Yeah.
Out of there. Oh,
Nope.
there's a cat.
That's okay. The cats at my house have made their appearances too.
Yeah.
Or at least tried to. No, dude, I remember because we like mornings at school were kind of you made your rounds or hung out with like your group. But I remember you showed up freaking out about this new album.
Which is new to me.
It's new to you, yeah, well, new to all of us.
Yeah.
But when did that album come out? Like
92.
92?
92.
Holy shit.
And that was like 2000, right? If we graduated.
End of 2000. Well,
Yeah.
it'd be end of 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Because it was like
Okay.
right when school started, pretty much.
Right. But
Because
yeah,
that was
dude,
back in my like wanna be like try to figure yourself out. Spiky hair, dyed.
we were
stuff.
all doing that shit.
Jinko jeans. It was the new metal era, you know.
Yep.
Am I a goth kid or what am I doing?
I feel like we all towed the line on being goths.
A little bit.
We just never went or at least I never went the makeup.
No.
Makeup route.
None of that either.
I couldn't even grow my hair out long, but
But
I did the spiky. But yeah, dude, I remember you introducing Dirt to a bunch of us
yeah.
that we all hung out with. That album, like, it took me off guard the first time listening to it. Mainly for, like, I was already going through a bunch of different shit. But I remember listening to the first 3 tracks. So Them Bones and then, oh my god, not Them Bones. Yeah. Damn the River. Thank you. That was a bad moment. But the thing, like, I think about with that album, especially now, listening to it as, like, adults, man, you have no preparation for, like, the brutal
honesty roller coaster that album kind of takes.
Right away.
Right. Well, so to me, it like catches you off guard with the two intro catchy tracks. You know, you're rocking out to Them Bones, not really paying attention to anything. And then Damn the Rivers, same way. But like Rain When I Die, just I remember the first time hearing that song just being kind of floored.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Like, but I remember every time I listened to that album, especially going through like all the mental health stuff, like, dude, that band put me on a whole new plane of, oh god,
Yeah.
this is brutally honest. Like, there's tons of metaphors in the music, but to me it wasn't that like metaphorical.
Yeah.
I feel like Lane was pretty
straightforward about
right.
how dark it got and how dark it was.
And I never like related to the addiction aspect of it because I wasn't shooting up speedballs and stuff, but the depression side of it, especially with Down in a Hole, fuck, dude, that song.
It's still.
I still can't.
Makes your hair stand up,
I can't listen to that song without like,
no.
Ooh, this one's a little.
But it's like beautiful, but it's also just the darkest freaking thing ever.
It is. No. So like, how else? I mean, I know personally how they influenced you musically. I think everyone that knows you knows how that.
I think.
Went, but
like the biggest thing with that one was. So, listening to the record, I get almost all the way through it, and I loved it all the way so far. When I got to Angry Chair, and there's that part where it's just that one stop after that after the main chorus, and it's the corporate prison we stay. I'm a little boy, work all day, so I'm strung out away. I like literally stopped in my tracks in the hallway, and Tyler kept walking and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life." Like, I already played music, jammed a little bit. And had other bands that I was really influenced by before that, but that was the moment that I knew that's all I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Frankie's judging us.
Oh, I just wanted to make food, and I didn't know if I was going to ruin your video if I was to do that.
No, you can make food in the background.
You won't ruin it. You can be a background personality.
Okay.
You've heard all this anyway before, I'm sure.
Stories, yes.
See, and I've known him longer. I haven't heard all of the stories. I've only, like, heard...
Hey, listen to this.
Right, like being force-fed Alice in Chains dirt. So it was really Angry Chair that, like...
Yeah, and it was just mainly, like, that feeling at that time, too. I mean, angsty teenager, don't know your place.
Right.
I was locked into a school, pretty much, like that I didn't want to be in, or a place I didn't want to be, but I had to do it. So I don't know, it just struck a chord, and then the rest of the album just did the same thing to me.
Yeah,
you know,
dude, I remember like because I think there was like a group of 4 or 5 of us, maybe that might be a little hazy, where we just all seemed to listen to Dirt on rotation.
Yeah,
I'm not sure we all related to it quite as much, especially like Rooster or Junkhead at that point. But I don't know how you felt when I listened to the Facelift album. That album felt so different to me than Dirt.
Same. So I got
like
again, I got Facelift from somebody else's dad.
Oh, not just your dad?
No, it was Tyler's. It's sitting around. Tyler grabbed it and just gave it to me. He's like, my dad doesn't love this. You can take this one too, because I was getting really into him. But it definitely didn't do the same thing.
No.
Like, there's a couple songs in there that really like still resonate, and I love that record. But that's not the one that I have all the emotional connection to. And the
straight Dirt, huh?
Yeah, Dirt and. My dad had Jar of Flies, too. So once I really got into Dirt, I also stole Jar of Flies from my dad. So, and I still have that copy.
You burned my copies of, I think, all of their albums except the self-titled one.
Yeah.
Or Tripod.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the only one you did not burn a copy for me.
See, I didn't have that one for a while. And I thought that was like their first record. Turns out it was one of their later ones. But at that time, it was like the last one.
Yeah.
And that one was weird. Now, I don't know, like, I love that record, but it's a hard one to listen to all the way through, because you can almost hear, like, the end of the band, and how done with it they were at that point.
Yeah. Well, to me...
There's really good songs in there, like Grind, they're just... I think they always did the best at starting the record with just the balls to the wall heavy hitter.
Dude, Grind and Brush Away. Love Brush Away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But see, that
Such
album...
a weird riff, too.
That album stuck with me pretty heavily. Almost more so than Dirt did. Because I... With Dirt, like I said, I didn't do like... I smoked a lot of weed, but...
Yeah.
Dirt's not about weed.
No. I mean, at that time... I mean, I definitely related to it later on with other things, which I regret. You know?
Yeah.
Not heroin, but...
Which is probably the smart way to go.
Just a smart way. Yeah, you don't want to do that shit.
But yeah, that self-titled, it's kind of funny. I think I don't know if I've talked about it with you before or with a couple other people, but Tripod seems to, or the self-titled sticks with me. Weird album. I mean, that album's...
It's weird.
It's all over the place. It really is. And I agree with you. You can hear, there's a lot of songs or moments in that whole album where you're like,
yeah,
I don't even think they like each other anymore. Like, I think Pantera did a better job of hating each other, but putting a record on that was still like...
Wait, which one?
Reinventing the Steel.
Yeah.
Right, it still felt very Pantera-ish.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, that self-titled Alice, I love that album, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of moments where you're like, do they hate each other? Did they all just, like, quit on one another? Like, have the drugs fully taken
over at that point?
Yeah, taking control. Which, I mean, I feel like with Lane...
They kind of did.
They did.
Yeah.
But that was something... I remember finding out about Lane's death.
Mm-hmm.
You were the one that told me about it.
Matt had told me about it.
Yeah.
Because he saw it on MTV News.
Back when that was a thing.
And I lost my mind. I was depressed and sad and bummed.
Well, that was... I mean, Lane was, like, huge influence for you at that point.
Yeah, and I guess we're older than that now. Right? How old? Wait, babe, I'm 32, right? Yeah.
Shit, I'm 31, so
Yeah.
you must be 32.
Okay.
33
So,
this month.
no, yeah, which is weird to think about. That, like, I mean, he had passed away when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And we're that age now.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of freaky.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, his death was the first, like, celebrity death that resonated on me.
Yeah.
I really just, oh, shit.
And it was, like, kind of under, you know, well, they weren't huge at that time. They were
No.
kind of like underground sort of thing. But it, yeah, sucked. It hit me hard.
But
it hit me really hard, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of felt like at that point for me, because I was still really diving into all this, like, new world of music, but I kind of, like, took that band for granted, or at least what I had at that point, because I kind of had this stupid mentality of, like, oh, they're just going to keep making albums. I had no idea that it had already been... Well, when did the self-titled was like 96
95,
or 95?
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize it had already been
Like
that
7
long
years
between
since then,
albums.
yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of took that time off for granted, and just like the reality of, oh God, this guy, like, this iconic vocalist just...
Yeah, arguably one of the best
Right.
ever.
So I argue that. I know Nirvana gets, like, all credit for changing the music game and all that, but I actually feel that Alice in Chains had the heavier influence,
Yeah.
especially in rock bands
Oh, yeah.
post 2000.
Yeah, anything in that, like, late 90s, early 2000s era, from everything from, like, Godsmack to Union Underground to Fuel to, like, you can just hear that vocal style and that, like, delivery.
Stained, and
Yeah.
you can hear it a lot in that first, well, maybe not a lot, but
There's
you
a
can
lot
hear
of-
some in, like, that first Puddle of Mud album.
Yeah. And there's a lot of songs that were written about
Right.
Cold. Yeah, there's so many. They changed the game as far as that went.
You definitely get that understanding of like that kind of impact. It kind of makes me wonder how the band now views some of that impact. I'd be curious to see that. I don't know.
I don't know if anybody's really ever asked them that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys perceive what you've done? You know,
it's huge to me. I mean, when you introduced me to Alice in Chains, that was like a big.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Like, it doesn't have to be super catchy riffs.
No, it
on
can be
every
real
song.
and just call it good. You know, that's what I think what I love the most about it. It was, and still, even their new stuff is just they're freaking real about it. They
Yeah.
just lay it on the table and say, "This is it."
I will say,
And I wish I could do that. I write too metaphorically. That's how my brain thinks. It jumps around.
well, which
like
is
this.
funny because I feel a lot of their music, at least early music, is heavily metaphorical.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, I mean, there was a lot of metaphors in the lyrics and stuff, but you always felt there was this like unmasked
Yeah.
kind
There's
of
some like hidden,
honesty to it.
yeah, hidden thing in there.
I mean, when you write a song like Junkhead, or
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
it's there's no metaphor.
Or even
about
just dirt.
that. Or dirt, yeah,
I mean, that's still heavy.
dude.
Anytime you listen to read or just pay attention to lyrics in that song, it's hard to listen to.
Well, that
I love that song, but it is hard to listen to.
it's funny you mentioned that.
There's been times where it felt like that.
Well,
you know?
yeah, Wood. That's a song that every time I listen to that whole album, I can make it through. You know, down the river, like or down the hole. That beats the shit out of me. But Wood, off that album, was always a song. Probably always be the song.
Yeah.
That when that opening bass kicks in, I'm every time like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this song today. And it's like one of the shorter songs on the album, but it's to me, it hits the hardest.
Yeah.
Very much so, you know, the whole idea of like
That music video is why I bought that freaking. Well, that's why I wanted that white bass. Because of that. Which is why I have it.
dude, I remember after you started really diving into the Alice in Chains world, I remember going to your house and like you had all the music video DVDs that they had.
Yeah.
You had everything Alice, and it was always immediately like, gotta fucking listen to these guys right now.
That's right.
You gotta see this music video for, I think it was Angry Chair and Them Bones.
Yeah.
Were like the two that you repeat.
I think still, like, now, I think my favorite song completely that they did was What the Hell Have I? Off that Last Action Hero
Dude, Last
soundtrack.
Action Hero sound.
I think that's still I think that's my favorite song that they've ever done. It's probably my favorite song of all time. It's close.
Yeah?
It's either that or The Day I Tried to Live from Soundgarden.
Oh.
Because of the metaphor again and how it
Yeah.
flips it and another heavy one.
Man, that's like-
arguably the best vocal too. But
Yeah. That's a track no one knows.
Yeah.
Like at
Good
all.
one, though.
It is a good one. I remember you showing me that one because I was like, when you played, I don't think you played me the whole soundtrack to that movie. I think you only played,
Probably the Alice, the Anthrax,
Alice.
and then the Megadeth one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, because that was my introduction to Megadeth. Actually, I had never heard Megadeth.
Still my favorite Megadeth song. Still my favorite Anthrax song. That's a good soundtrack and a good freaking movie.
It's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie.
How about that? That was the first movie I showed you too.
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah.
the first time I came over here, he made me dinner and we watched The Last Action Hero. And Frisky Dingo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I sat my daughter down to watch The Last Action. Told her like, "You're gonna love this movie." And at first she was like, "This is gonna be a weird movie, Dad," but
Well, it is, but that's why it's great.
she loved it. She loved it. She thought it was hilarious. But yeah, the soundtrack, like, what an odd soundtrack for that time.
But so awesome.
Because it's funny, because like doing this whole thing, really trying to remember like at what point have I heard this music. And I know the first one I said Snoop Dogg was my first real introduction to like secular stuff.
Yeah.
Which he is, that I paid attention to at least. But I saw that movie in the theater. So it's kind of fun thinking back now and
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I heard like Alice in Chains technically and Megadeth
way before you.
way before I actually knew who they were.
And that's kind of like mine too.
So what the hell have I, huh?
Yeah.
So what is it in that song that like?
I think it's just the creepy bendy guitar and the way the bass kind of dances around the guitar part, and they do similar things, but not at all the same. And
Yeah.
all the hidden layers. They always have this like hidden, real simple couple note thing that just creeps underneath, and you notice it when you pay attention to it. The drums are weird, but they just hit right when they should, and the harmonies in there. I also kind of like that Jerry takes mainly like the lead in the verse, and Lane's doing it mainly in the chorus.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they did
Kind
a
of have
lot
this
of
really
that.
cool pull.
Their harmonizing was always like.
They're like, yeah, if I could find somebody that could sing like that and I could harmonize with, I would stop being the front man and
and just go to doing that.
yeah, I would be fine doing backup if I could sing like that. But
You know, I've heard you
always
say that
somebody.
a few times, and you always come out with like, "Oh, I've got another band," and you're the front man in that other band.
not in the one, not in the other one. But
Well, up
in the
until
new,
this, yeah.
But in the new one, we just yell. So you know,
Nothing wrong with that.
That's fine. It's heavy.
I like that kind of stuff, so that's totally fine.
Didn't think I'd ever play that shit that heavy. But,
Yeah.
You know. What do you think of the new stuff? Because there is like a defining line of like,
and you
and
can
some people get really
you can hear it. You can hear it. So I know you and I have talked about the Black Gives Way to Blue album a couple times, I think. First time I heard it, hated that album. I freaking hated that album. Like, check my brain. I was so mad at that song.
I thought it was great, but I also already loved Jerry Cantrell's solo stuff.
Right.
Like Degradation Trip, I still think Psychotic Break is, again, the first track on that record is one of the best freaking tracks on there. It's just brutal. It's like, my buddy Mark had described it once as, that is the song you hear when you're getting dragged down to hell. Like if the pit opens up, and you're getting, souls are just pulling you down, that's what you're going to hear. Spiraling into hell.
I could see that. I could see that. Because I didn't actually start really listening to his solo stuff until the last couple of years, honestly.
Yeah.
Even being a fan of Alice back, his solo stuff really started coming out after Lane died.
Yeah.
So, because I remember Degradation Trip.
Yeah, which was like right when. It was like the same month.
Yeah, it was real close to it.
Because I have the original version where it doesn't have Dedicated to Lane on the back. And like
Really?
a week later, they reprinted them all.
Interesting.
Which is fun.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah. Pulling
Now, like-
shelves, and Shopko still had the original.
Freaking Shopco. That's a story for No, it took a lot. I still think Private Hell is the best song on Black Gives Way to Blue. Because that's the most,
Yeah. See, to me,
Alice song.
To me, Lessons Learned was probably my favorite, and
Okay.
is my favorite off that record.
Okay.
Because it just felt like really real. It was like, and at that point in my life, I had gone through some, after all this stuff, so post high school and getting into hanging out with the wrong crowd and doing all the other stuff I shouldn't have done. But it was kind of like that turning point, like, okay, back to like, who am I? And that helped me kind of direct what I felt about myself, and all the shit that I had learned.
Oh.
And then Black Is Way to Blue that was heavy. It's a hard. I love that record all the way through personally, and I loved it the second it came out. But
No, I like Private Hell. That connected to me. Same reasons why. Because to me, that was a juncture in my life. Things weren't working out so well in a lot of other aspects, and I was just on that downward spiral. So when I heard Private Hell, it was very much like, oh, so this is me. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm doing right now to myself.
I like that there's two. I like that you can listen to that band and almost listen to two different bands, though. Like if you want to listen to old Alice versus they're two different bands, but I don't mind that they did it under the same name,
No, well, so after Black Gives Way to Blue, I remember listening because then it was like a couple years after that they had Devil Put the Dinosaurs
The
Here.
second best album they ever created, yes.
Which I like, I'll be honest, I totally skipped that album because I was so mad at Black Gives Way to Blue because I just like, it didn't connect. I did not resonate with that album.
So Devil Put Dinosaurs Here for me hit at the exact right time.
Okay.
So I was going through the divorce right around that time.
Yeah.
First with that Tomahawk record, Oddfellows, and that was like, they had like Still Letter and stuff on there, and that helped. And then it was right around my birthday that was coming out for, Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. And the second Hollow hit, and it said pretty much everything I wanted to say. Again, the first track. It's like, Hollow is a mountain. Yeah, it just kept going. And then the second track, which is definitely my favorite track on that record, is Pretty Done.
Okay.
Or Breath on a Window. I don't know. It summed up everything I wanted to say in my head, and it did it again. It was just right there. See, it felt like it was tailor-made for me.
Right. And that's like
really...
That's the best thing about music, and for me, that's how I feel. There have been several bands that 100%.
Yeah.
Like, they've just been like stalking me. Am I on like some weird Truman Show?
Right?
Thing? Just like, we're gonna write about what's going on in his head.
I'm not the only one that feels like they're in the Truman Show. Right? We've had that conversation a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I wonder if everybody else does. You feel like you're in the Truman Show?
They might.
Sometimes?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Don't get the conspiracy theories going.
Oh, God. Don't get me started.
But yes, I totally skipped that album because I was so mad about Black Gives Way. But then Rainier Fog came out. Mm-hmm. And when I heard the title track of that, I remember just being like, oh fuck, they're back.
Yeah.
Like, oh god. So that was one of the albums that like, it came out when stores were still selling CDs. I will always buy CDs, by the way.
Same.
I fucking love hard copy.
Same. Always.
Always. But I remember rushing out, getting that album, cranking it up, and like you just said with Devil Puts Dinosaurs, I feel Rainier Fog hit me right when I needed it to.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, it had that Alice feel to me, but not in the like real depressing, you just beat down kind of way. It was just like, it felt familiar. It felt comforting all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Which is,
and it was a whole new, like, I don't know, that one feels like very positive, and it's...
Which is weird, because it's still not like the most positive album.
No,
but
it feels like it, It's a lot more like...
There's some life to it that, yeah, it was like, it's like talking to a friend.
Yeah.
That you don't see for a while. In case
we're bad.
But, so after Rainier Fog, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go back. I'll re-listen to Black Gives Way, and I'll give Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. Yeah, dude. Like, going back, it took a while, but now I love Black Gives Way to Blue, and I love The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here.
Oh, yeah.
That album, like, when I actually sat down and listened, I was like, oh shit, they were back already. Yeah. What the fuck?
Just like that big, droning, awesome guitar parts. And creative vocals.
I think I think I fell into like that cliche notion almost of when a band has to change something.
Right.
They grow up.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
There's bands I hate that do that, or that I love that when they do that, I hate them. Like, we were talking about this last night too. Like Green Day. I love Green Day, except for the American Idiot era. I hate it.
Now, see, I used to be the same way.
And it started growing me a little bit, but it's not.
Right.
There's also bands I think that should have like stopped way, and I'm probably wrong. It's my opinion. I love some like the early, or really like all the Stone Temple Pilots stuff, Aerosmith stuff.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a firm believer that most bands should stop making albums at a certain point because you almost like lose your creativity. And that's what sucks playing in bands for so long, is I feel like I've done so many albums, and it's like, am I at that point where I should just stop?
But at least you're not doing drugs, so it's not like you're going to be forced to from dying.
Right. So
there's one positive.
It's like, well, you leave your legacy. But I feel like Allison, for me at least, they're like the one that hasn't got to that point where I would want them to stop yet.
Mm-hmm. It took me a while. I mean, it took me 3 albums of new stuff for me to have that mentality of like,
Okay, yeah, they're good.
I like you again. But that happens to me a lot with albums where a band that I've enjoyed for so long will come out with something new, and at first I'm like, I don't know if I'm disappointed, but it just doesn't
doesn't do the same
hit.
thing. Yeah.
But then I'll go back and revisit it after a little while, and that's usually when it
All right, maybe I need to revisit that Faith No More record then.
So there's
a couple of them.
Yeah. Oh, Faith No More. I think there's only how many albums do they have?
Well, with Patton, before the Patton, there's a couple, but Real Thing, Angel Dust, King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, Album of the Year, Soul Invictus.
Because I feel like
Soul Invictus kind of. It didn't hit me as hard. There's a couple songs that did, but
no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with Alice, it took a while to get okay with the new stuff.
Yeah.
But now I can listen to it when it comes on. Like, now I can feel that familiar, like, emotional response to the music.
Yeah.
You know, now I don't hate Check My Brain. Now I'm like, no, that song's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're an interesting band. They've definitely had like heavy influence on me, not from wanting to like musically be inspired by them, but all the emotional stuff and with the mental health. That's what's really, I think that's why they stick around. I can still listen to all their albums now and still have that same familiar feeling of it. It's still like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This still hits just as hard as it did the first time I heard it.
Every time.
Every time.
Like I said, I've been listening to that half my life, and it's still in my freaking car.
And
Doesn't come out of the car.
I still skip like a couple songs just because it's like, nope, too real today.
Yeah.
But, you know, at that self-titled, when they end it with Over Now, that song...
That's one of my favorites on that record.
Dude, it's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
First time I listened to it, I was like, oh, this is fun. It's like catchy. Like, what an interesting way for them to go out.
Yeah.
And then, like, the lyrics of it started hitting me and was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
They tricked me.
Yeah. It's bouncy. It's got that, like, almost positive feel to the music.
Yeah.
And then,
Like,
you really listen to the lyrics. You're like, oh, yeah.
well, I mean, with that song and then Them Bones, that's a song that I still love thinking about that one because I'm like...
When we're done with that, I'll have to show you. So I finally, because I quarantine gets you bored, and there was nothing to do one day, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cover one of my favorite songs, and I'm going to cover it front to back. It's going to do everything. I'm not going to show anybody unless I want to, so it won't go on the internet, but I did every part on Them Bones.
Really?
The vocals, the harmonies, the guitar solo, and I even like how the two solos blend.
So you were bored.
Yeah, I was bored. I'll show you though.
Did you drive Frankie crazy doing it?
No, I think you were okay with it, right? Babe?
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's pretty good.
I don't doubt that.
It's
I don't doubt that, dude. I don't doubt that at all.
I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, that song, I think I mentioned it earlier, but that's one of those songs where, like, you hear it, it's catchy, it's cool, it's heavy. Mm-hmm. Like, I can rock out to this.
But everybody's had that feeling at one point.
And you're just like, oh, shit. Yeah, when you actually listen to what he's saying in that song, you're just like, oh, crap. Yeah, dude, Alice has been what I would definitely call a heavy hitter in my life. Just, I remember like showing my mom Alice in Chains, and she had no offense, Mom. I remember her doing that like that parent thing where she goes, "Oh yeah, this is okay." She was probably hearing like what he was saying more so than I was, but
Right.
She's probably had that thought like, what the hell is my kid listening to?
Sorry.
But no, Alice is... I knew you'd have fun doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your band.
I know.
It's a band that, like... I didn't know they actually, like, set you on course, because I knew you were already playing bass before you
Yeah.
At least showed
So
me Alice in
what
Chains.
really got me into starting to play music was your favorite band. Because at that point, they were mine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
Godsmack's what got me into music.
Godsmack
Or,
will have
like,
their own
playing.
2-hour video,
I figured.
probably, because that's
But really wanting to do it as like a career, or realizing that was like what I felt like I was meant to do, was into Alice.
that's pretty big. That's pretty cool. I've known you for, well, you're like one of my longest friends.
Since kindergarten, right? That's
Yeah,
when we met.
kindergarten.
Good old Sarah Milner.
And you've always, as long as I've known you, you've always, music's always kind of been there in your life. But yeah, I remember.
I think one of my earliest memories is us playing fucking Jurassic Park Raptors, and you had the one that I wanted. It's like, damn it.
I remember that, and I remember playing The Lion King on was it Super Nintendo or whatever.
Or Sega, maybe.
Sega,
one of the two.
It's like one of the
I
hardest.
think one of us had one and one had the other. I can't remember.
But I remember doing that. But yeah, well, thanks for doing this, man.
That's right.
Any other fun Alice stories that you got?
I mean, I guess the coolest was getting to see him for the first time at Sturgis.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah.
it was like it was 18, and they weren't together. They weren't back together yet. William was just like doing a one-off show with them.
Okay.
And they were gonna play Sturgis. My dad surprised me and got tickets.
Oh, cool.
We got there way too early. Sat out front, and then we're out there too long, and Sean Kinney let us hang out.
Oh,
We
cool.
gotta go backstage, and got my CD signed and all that stuff for the first time, and then got pushed to front row center at a place that had I don't know, probably 100,000 people at the Buffalo Chip. And
Jesus Christ.
yeah, that was just super rad. And they played everything I ever wanted them to. All the rare stuff, all the weird songs that you wouldn't think they'd play. Even
so they did like deep dive stuff.
Even like a Little Bitter, and just
really
first time getting to see him was play everything. So that was really cool.
That's huge.
And then, oh man, I have so many. I didn't even want to know all of them. Going to Seattle to see Tomahawk, because they only played like 12 shows this one year, and they never did, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go see one of my other favorite bands. And then turn around, and Sean Kinney's in the fucking, like, right behind me. Oh, hey, how's it going, Sean? You here to see Black Panther too? Yeah. Shooting shit. He's like, how do I know you from somewhere? And then I was like, you're the dude that was at the fucking Sturgis rally. I was like, yep. It was like cool. Years later. And I had my hair cut and still, remembered who I was, which is really freaking cool.
That's huge.
So
you don't hear about that a whole lot.
I mean, never.
They encounter
tons of people.
Amount of people.
But
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So it was fun. When I was going through a hard time too, and I still have them, after Wayne had passed, and his mom started like a recovery foundation. So I had like sent a letter and some stuff, and so she kept writing me back and forth. So I got some like cool promo material from the self-titled record.
Oh, that's
from
cool.
her. So that was pretty cool.
I remember when you started that like correspondence with her.
Yeah, but that, I mean, it helped me through a dark time. So that was. Yeah. They've been there for a lot.
Do you? I mean, everyone goes through whatever. Do you ever find yourself like not in like a dark place when you listen to it? Does it?
Yeah,
ever
now it's more just like reminiscing and like all positivity. You know, I look at it like that's what helped me when I'm listening to it. It's more like that's the thing that helped me get through. So you like focus on the positive of it.
Right.
Even this music is so dark and heavy. It's like,
which is such a great irony when it comes to Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way, where it's like some of their darkest songs ever.
Yeah, and they don't transport me to the dark place. They transport me to like that. This is awesome because it's what helped me get through the other stuff.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Well, cool.
Awesome.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that was great.
Another nice long one. Yeah. Well, cool. Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So that was my little chat with Alan. Thank you again, sir, for doing that. That was awesome. Had a ton of fun. I hope everyone else had at least enjoyed the conversation for a little bit. So, as usual, we'll end with just kind of listening to some tunes. This song is Them Bones, which you heard us talk and mention about. So, enjoy, turn that music up. Rock on, guys. Oh, man. Don't forget to share your stories with me. Love hearing this kind of stuff. It's so much fun celebrating all of these bands and musicians. So, rock on, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay healthy. We'll see you next time.